luxury norms that are changing the industry forever. Hey everyone, Steph here. I thought this would be a really interesting video to pull together 5 luxury norms that I think will change the industry forever. And make sure you stay tuned until the end of the video because I'm going to be sharing with you a story of how I nearly got scammed for many thousands of pounds. I have never shared this story here on this YouTube channel or anywhere in fact, and I'm finally going to open up about it. Make sure you sit tight for that. I'm going to save it until the end because it's going to make sense with the last point that I made. Yeah, let's dive straight in. The first new luxury norm that I think we can expect as luxury lovers are monster price increases. Now, I keep hearing repeatedly over, I would say, the last 12 months, phrases like, I have been priced out now, or I'm too embarrassed to wear my Chanel bag given how much it's worth now. Now, since I have been collecting luxury for quite a long time, I can honestly say, back many years ago, before the pandemic, we would see price increases from luxury brands, but it didn't feel like they came quite as frequently as what they do now. And when a price increase did hit, I would say it was generally between about maybe 2 and 5%. So not astronomical. Now, when I say I think monster price increases are going to be a thing that is going to stay and stick around in the industry, we have seen over the last few years increases of up to 25% in some cases on really popular bags. As an example, I track the market, the Chanel bags, the Louis Vuitton, like the key styles. I publish the before and after prices of all the price increases over on the Handbagholic blog. Now, if you want to get notified of any of these price increases, by the way, I do share over on my Instagram when I know a price increase is coming up. But also, if you want to find out before anyone else, I will link down below and up here for you. You can sign up to my email list absolutely free. And when there's a new price increase, a new video release, exclusive discount that I've got, you are going to find out before anyone else. So back to my example, the recent price increase from Louis Vuitton, the Capucine bag from the brand, of which I have 3 now, but I'm just going to use like a full leather. So this is like one of the more basic versions of this bag, a full leather mini Capucine, the cheapest from this range. Okay, this had a 17% increase in the last price increase. UK pounds, it was £4,350. After the price increase, this one now currently at this time of filming retails at £5,100. These are not small price increases. I have not seen prior to probably the pandemic, maybe slightly before that, but you know, going back quite a few years now, the increases have never been this large before. And we also just seem to have such high demand at the minute. A lot of this was started throughout the pandemic. And I think in the first instance, a lot of people thought the luxury industry would really struggle. People weren't going out, they weren't going to be using their luxury purchases, so why would they buy any more? But actually, the complete opposite happened. As people had more disposable income, the demand for luxury goods went through the roof. Here we have a quote from the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco. Pandemic-related fiscal support resulted in a sizable increase in disposable income in the overall US economy at a time when health-related economic closures and social distancing led to a significant drop in household spending. As a result, aggregate personal savings rose rapidly, far beyond its pre-pandemic trend and much higher than in previous recessions. So what does this mean for us luxury lovers? First and foremost, I would say if you have an iconic piece from a brand, a Lady Dior, a Louis Vuitton Capucine, a Chanel classic flap, unless you are 100% sure, I would hold on to these pieces and I wouldn't make any panic sales. Of course, if you need the money, something like that. But if you're just on the fence and you are not too sure, because I have a few pieces that I'm not so sure about at the minute, I'm not making any rash decisions because I know if I regret my decision and then want to buy the piece back with all these huge price increases, it is just going to be a lot harder. It also means that you might want to look for some pieces on the pre-loved market because there are some big savings to be made. Now, this leads me on nicely to the second luxury norm that I think we can expect. This one is a really good one though, and one area that I'm actually really excited about. And this is the rise of contemporary or lower luxury brands. So So these are brands that focus on high quality, but they haven't got the marketing budgets of the Chanel, the Dior's of this world, and they don't even want to pitch their brands at that level. They are more focused on delivering a quality piece at a much more affordable and reasonable price point. And I know that some of these more affordable brands are actually sourcing like leathers, for example, from Hermes tanneries. Like they are using top quality leather pieces and hardware in some cases, but the prices are so much lower because you aren't paying for the big brand name. Now, there is a contemporary or low-luxe brand that I have had my eye on for quite some time now, and they recently contacted me and said they would like to sponsor a video. So I have a piece here from this brand. I absolutely jumped at the chance when they contacted me, and I'm really excited to see what the quality is like of this piece. Okay, so I would like to say a huge thank you to Ateliers Auguste for sponsoring today's video, and they have sent me a piece because they strongly stand by their quality and the price point. I'll show you what a bag I've got in here and how much it costs in a second. And I've also got a discount code for you, which they've kindly shared so that you can save even more money if you are looking for a piece from the brand. The smell, unreal, absolutely unreal. A lot of my very high-end bags do not smell this good, and we haven't even opened her up yet. Okay, so Ateliers Auguste. This is a French brand created by two French brothers. These pieces are made in Paris, and they have a workshop in Italy where the bags are made. Wow, look at this. This is the mini Marley bag, and this is in color gold. Now, this isn't the first time I've unboxed this because I have actually been using this a lot recently because I really wanted to put this bag's quality to the test. And just in general, I can tell you, this is one of the most amazing everyday bags I have in my collection. So this is actually part of the Ateliers Auguste Gold Edition collection. So beautiful. This also comes in black, and they also have another bag that looks a little bit like the Celine Team Triomphe. Like we've kind of got that boxy shape. A lot of these pieces do sell out because this is such a popular brand and the quality incredible for the price. I am genuinely blown away with how beautiful this piece is for the price point. But here we go, let me give you a closer look. So we have a top handle, something that I love with any of my luxury bags. And then we have a really fantastic, I still do have the plastic on here just to help stop any scratching, but let me take it off just to show you. So it's kind of like a brushed metal. So this isn't going to scratch easily. We have this beautiful detail. The hardware is just, it feels such great quality. So if we open this, it's a magnetic, and you can see how strong that magnet is, but it's not like hard to actually get off the bag. And you don't have to fiddle around to try and actually get it to line up, which I do on some of my other bags. It just kind of closes, which is really nice. Then we have a zip closure. Stop it. A zip closure. I love a zip closure. It just keeps everything more secure. And then inside of the bag, we have the detachable crossbody strap, and we have a compartment at the back where you can put some pieces in there, and also a leather one here. You could probably keep cards and stuff in here. So really, really great. And this here is a little care and maintenance. So how to take care of your new bag. This is so helpful to actually understand how to take care of your bag properly and to attach the straps. They've actually thought about this as well. So you aren't attaching it to this bit where it's actually going to pull onto the leather. They have an extra bit on the handle here. Really easy to attach. You can adjust this strap as well. And then you can wear it as a shoulder bag like so. I have mostly been wearing this as a cross body bag. Look at this, it's the perfect size. I can get my phone in here and loads of everyday essentials like my keys, and again, look at that. Look how easy and smooth it is to close. Now, I've been learning a lot about leathers recently as well, so I can better understand the quality of bags. I even made my own bag. If you haven't watched that video, I will link it down below. And the leathers that Ateliers Auguste actually uses are sourced from the food industry, and they adhere to the strictest regulations and standards because they are really passionate about creating a much more sustainable leather industry. And that for me is just the cherry on top top of this brand. And I did promise you a discount code, which I will flash on the screen down below. It is Steph10, and this code is going to get you 10% off. Again, in the description box, I will link to the mini Marley bag in gold and a few other of the bags that I absolutely adore from the brand. And they also have a flagship store in Paris. If you are a subscriber, you might already know. I plan to go to Paris and do some vlogs very soon. So I definitely think we are going to be heading to Atelier Auguste and getting a close-up of more of these incredible pieces. You can get free worldwide shipping on the website, so enjoy. Again, don't forget to use the discount code Steph10. Thank you so much to Atelier Auguste for sponsoring this part of today's video. So what does the rise of contemporary and more affordable quality luxury brands mean for us consumers? I don't know about you guys, the way I feel about it is I love my high-end pieces like my Chanel's, my Louis Vuittons, etc. However, this for me is just a complete breath of fresh air. I think sometimes having a really high-end piece like maybe a Chanel bag, for example, people would be like, oh my gosh, you have a Chanel bag. Now, I think it's equally, if not maybe even more cool to have a contemporary bag, maybe without a big logo, that is high quality, where people are kind of like, ooh, where is that from? Because you've probably seen, or I definitely do when I go to London, a million classic flaps everywhere. But when you find an affordable low luxury piece that's a little bit different and you're kind of like, ooh, where is that from? So really exciting. And for me personally, as mentioned, I've been using my Marley bag as an everyday bag, really easy to just grab and go with. And for my more everyday, I don't want to be wearing my most expensive bags. I just don't. I want them to be more carefree. I want them to be incredibly functional. And this bag answers all of that with the zip closure, super secure top handle and crossbody. Everything, if you're a subscriber, you know that I love in a bag. My Capucine bag, for example, incredibly beautiful, not very practical. Definitely doesn't have like the great features that this bag does. Luxury norm number 3. Saturation. And I've got a question for you. How do you feel about luxury being luxury if you see many other people wearing the same piece as you? And a lot of people I've seen are questioning if it's not an exclusive item and you see lots of people with the same piece, is it really luxury? Like, does it feel special when you walk down the street and run into 10 other people with the same bag? Okay, maybe they're different colors or different sizes, but it's still technically the same piece. And I think part of the allure of these bags is that they aren't easy to obtain, as frustrating as that is. The more special pieces to me probably are my more expensive ones because they do feel harder to obtain and therefore they then feel more special. I guess we work towards a goal, and once we've achieved it, it's just, I don't know, if it's harder to achieve, maybe we desire it more, we've worked for it for longer, and then it feels more special to us. However, does that feel slightly diminished when we then go down the street and see quite a few of them? My personal opinion is my pieces that feel special to me still feel special, even if I see other people with them. It can also be a good sign that what you've purchased is a good piece, like it's practical and other people are using it. And what I think this means for us consumers is that we are all going to individually maybe come to our own conclusion on what luxury means to us. For me personally, I have always kind of gravitated more towards limited edition pieces. My Capucine, my Dior book tote bag, my Neverfull down here, for example. All of these pieces are limited edition, ones that you can no longer buy from the brand anymore. Even though the style of the bag you can buy, you cannot get the Stardust anymore. You cannot get the Jardin print from Christian Dior anymore. And to me, that makes these pieces feel a little bit more exclusive to me and a little bit more special. So my advice would be, if you are feeling this way, try and gravitate towards pieces that, okay, you will probably see a few people with them every now and then, but they're not like an everyday model if this is something you care about, because you're more likely to see more of those. And this is an interesting concept because I am planning to start my Hermes journey soon, go into store, build up hopefully my sales to potentially get a quota bag. However, okay, I have been in London quite a few times. I do a lot of shopping vlogs there, and honestly, the amount of Hermes bags that I see is borderline ridiculous as I'm walking around. I am in Harrods, I am in Selfridges, I see so many Birkin bags. It's probably one of the most common bags that I actually spot. So it's kind of become a thing where it's not like, oh wow, look, there's a Birkin. It's like, oh look there, it's another Birkin. And I'm not gonna lie, That does put me off slightly, and I'm definitely questioning what luxury means to me going forward. And quite interestingly, as I've said, I think the contemporary, more affordable brands are maybe just as cool in some circumstances as wearing a Chanel bag. And plot twist, you are maybe less likely to see someone else wearing the contemporary or low-luxe brand that you are wearing than maybe a Chanel bag or a Birkin bag from Hermes, for example, depending on where you are. Luxury norm number 4 that is changing the industry forever, and there is a brand that is leading this trend really well. And this is harder to obtain pieces. As these luxury brands are maybe becoming more kind of fast fashion-esque, you can walk into a store and go and buy one. You might see lots of people wearing the same piece. What brands are starting to do is make some of these items, in order to remain exclusive and seem more luxurious, make them harder to buy in the first place. The brand doing this really well is Hermes, obviously. So the Kelly and the Birkin are both quota bags. This means you can't walk into a store and go and buy one. You have to build a sales history or relationship with a sales associate, and then you might be offered one by the Hermes gods. That has sent the prices of these bags on the resale market, if you have like a good color combination and size, through the roof. I have seen pre-sale prices quadruple, maybe even more in some cases, of what you would actually pay for one of these bags brand new. That makes these bags really great investments, which means if you are offered one from a store, despite the fact these pieces are very expensive, you know, they are super premium, and a lot of people would maybe think, oh, do I buy that bag? Because it makes such a good investment, it's a no-brainer, and people will just buy them straight away. So like I said, Hermes has led the way with this harder to obtain pieces, and I think other brands are taking serious inspiration from this. Hermes has released its first half of its figures in 2023, just to give you an idea. So despite this marketing tactic, exclusivity tactic, if you will, revenue has increased 25% for the first half of 2023 compared to the previous year. Other brands that this is kind of filtering into, the Louis Vuitton Neverfull, the tote bag here, the most popular bag from the brand. It is now rumoured that you have to go onto a wait list. You cannot just go into a store and buy this bag anymore. So they are making you wait. We have the Dior 95.22. So this is kind of an updated version of the Lady Dior bag. If you want to order one of these, you don't have to be offered one. You can go into store, but you do have to wait, I believe it's around 12 weeks for the bag to be made. So they're kind of lengthening out the situation so that you can't get your hands on that item straight away. Chanel with the classic flap, we have seen huge price increases, which is instantly going to put certain people off. And it really wouldn't surprise me if possibly with the classic flap, it gets to a point where you do have to be on a wait list, or maybe you even need to be offered one. That is not the case right now, however, but in certain countries, Chanel do limit you to, I think it's 2 bags a season, or 2 bags every 6 months, so you can't overbuy. And it's not all doom and gloom. Luxury norm number 5, and this is an industry that I have seen change massively. Before I come on to my story time where I was nearly scammed for a lot of money, and I've never shared this story before, and that is that the resale market is becoming a lot more established and regulated. Now again, when I go back to thinking about when I first started buying luxury pieces, there were some resellers, and it wasn't very vetted. eBay was one of the main places you would buy pre-loved bags. There was no authenticity guarantee like there is today. There was also some brands, but they kind of felt, I don't know, not like proper businesses or establishments, even though that was the case. And over the last few years, I have seen the evolution of some really incredible resellers. Like, some of them have stores in some of the most prestigious locations in the world. I'm thinking of London. I often go and visit them and check out some of the pre-loved pieces that they have. So these businesses have become way more established over the last few years. They now have, a lot of them have store presence, the really reputable ones. They have fantastic Instagram accounts where you can shop, really great websites, where I'd say maybe like 5 to 10 years ago, this did not really exist. It was very much the wild, wild west. Now I feel like you can buy and sell pre-loved a lot safer than you ever could. And I think that's fantastic to promote a more circular economy. Now, I'm really glad that this is the case, because story time. I was nearly scammed for £3,000. So what happened is, I was in a Facebook group and a WhatsApp group. It had been around for, I don't even know, I want to say like a year to 2 years. The woman was incredibly credible, if you will, or seen as credible in these groups. She was very much a part of the pre-loved community. You could buy and sell with her. So what happened was a vintage Chanel classic flap, not too dissimilar actually to my Chanel vintage square, which I got afterwards, but it was actually the classic flap. So this one's like a crossbody bag in patent leather. The bag that I purchased from her was a black caviar Chanel bag, but it was one of the vintage ones similar to this. And because I completely trusted this business, like a lot of people did, I bank transferred her £3,000 for this purchase. Anyway, a few weeks went by and I'm kind of like, where is this bag? I've not had any communication at this point. She did know about my YouTube channel, and then another week went by and kind of just I was kind of being fobbed off as in, you know, it's coming soon, etc. Really, like, just, I didn't even know what was happening. Like, why did she not have this bag in her possession? Why was it not being sent out to me? I just bank transferred. Anyone who knows anything about bank transfers is you cannot reverse them. So it's a very risky way of paying for anything. And that just goes to show the level of trust that I had in this person, because usually I would never do that. After about 5 weeks, I just kept anchoring away, asking what is happening, like, where is the bag, or can I get my money back? She did transfer me the money back, so I did get my money back. However, it all went to absolute chaos a few months later. So it all started to happen. People were raising concerns about this woman in certain Facebook groups. However, these comments were being deleted. So it caused a lot of controversy, and this should not have happened to the degree that it happened to if those comments weren't deleted. And a lot of people, it turns out, were bank transferring this woman money. She even had a premise. She was on Instagram, like, she was pretty big on Instagram as well. She was, like I said, incredibly, like, trusted. She had people working for her, and it all just came crumbling down. She ended up in the WhatsApp group crying about things, and as it kind of unfolded, as this business went down and went under, I think it was well over £150,000 of money was just gone that people had bank transferred. Items that people had given her to consign and sell on their behalf just went. This business, or it wasn't even a business, it was self-employment, the whole thing just went into liquidation, and a lot of people lost a lot of money. So I was one of the lucky ones. I managed to get my £3,000 back. I had no idea that this woman was not reputable at this point. So amongst some of the authentic pieces, she was also selling counterfeit pieces. This is so scary, and since this happened to me, I now only buy through incredibly reputable resellers. Generally, my rules are they must have a physical premises so that I can visit them, a phone number that I can contact, and I will not buy again from like a private seller unless, again, I completely trust them, but I wouldn't pay direct bank transfer. I would only pay via PayPal or via credit card, for example. But I'm so grateful that this industry is evolving. eBay now do the authenticity guarantee in select countries. I know they do it in the US and the UK, and this just makes it a whole lot safer. It's not perfect, it's very far from perfect, but these brands and these resellers that are taking the initiative, they are authenticating the items, they aren't just trying to make money, they actually want to build like a really strong business and build real trust with their customers. Those are the ones that are winning and are going to win, and I really do appreciate them, because when it comes to luxury, we change our minds. Maybe we want to sell something, we want to buy something else, and another piece isn't working out for us. Having these ways and avenues to actually sell and also purchase. I have quite a few pre-loved pieces. My collection, my Capucine Stardust is pre-loved, for example, which I did get from a very reputable reseller. I paid on credit card, so I was fully covered through my credit card as well, just in case. But it's such a fantastic way to save a lot of money. So that is my story. I was nearly scammed for £3,000, and this woman, she's not in jail. She is just out, and she is now selling on Depop, apparently. So you have to be really careful. Always buy from really reputable resellers. And that, I believe, are the 5 new luxury norms that are going to be changing the luxury industry forever. Guys, if you aren't already, make sure you sign up to my free email list. I'll link it up here and down below for you. Again, you will find out about any new video releases, price increase updates, and also any exclusive discounts I get. A huge thank you again to Atelier Auguste for sponsoring this video. My 10% off code is Steph10 for 10% off the range. super high quality. I'm absolutely obsessed with this mini Marty bag. And make sure you don't go anywhere, because coming up next, I link my latest video release here for you and over here. The bags that I would never recommend you buy brand new, because you can make such big savings on the pre-loved market. Enjoy.